Welcome to our first virtual tour of No Longer and Not Yet, an exhibition by Anna Julia Geiger on view at the Kirkland Art Center through February 27th. This tour is intended to provide an overview of the exhibition's key themes so you can dive deeper into its concepts when you experience it in person. The title of the exhibition is No Longer and Not Yet. No longer speaks to desires or hopes that have been let go, accepted as unattainable. Not yet represents both Anna's contentment with the person she has become through her past experiences and her openness to the unpredictable changes and transformations that lie ahead. A retrospective, this exhibition features some of Anna's favorite works she has created over the past 10 years. Each work offers a glimpse into her evolving thoughts and emotions throughout different stages of her fertility journey. Let's look at our first group of works titled, respectively, Heavy, New Life, and Forget-Me-Not. Each painted in 2014, these are the earliest of Anna's works in the exhibition and kick off the 10-year journey that we will explore through the rest of this tour. They also reflect the start of Anna's journey with IVF. Anna painted these works while she was in Germany and beginning her first round of IVF treatments. Distinct in style and aesthetic from her other works on display here, these paintings reflect how much Anna's art style evolved over the 10 years. The works are lighter in both color and concept. They are hopeful and young, though already contain themes which will appear again in later works. In the top left corner of Heavy, Anna includes a jagged, gray, stone-like mass in her initial experimenting with conveying heaviness, one of the reoccurring themes throughout her work. Anna begins all her paintings by first covering the canvas in black. She then layers brighter colors over it until the black is mostly but rarely completely obscured. This approach serves a dual purpose. First, painting is a way for Anna to process and express her emotions. Transforming darkness into something bright and colorful is deeply therapeutic for her. Second, the technique adds tonal depth to her work, allowing viewers to look beyond the surface and uncover the pain and sadness that exist beneath healing and beauty. If you take the time to look closely at Anna's paintings, you will discover a world of complexity, nuance, and lived experience woven beneath the surface. Anna made each of the 7 not yet ceramic works while waiting to hear if the IVF planted embryos worked. The surfaces of the ceramics are covered in various 3D forms resembling spikes, bulbs, spheres, and even barnacles, which represent eggs, sperm, and uterus pieces. The visceral visuals give the viewer an idea of where Anna's head was at while she waited to hear if she was pregnant, again and again. The final ceramic in the series, Not Yet 7, is more colorful and vibrant than the rest. Its rainbow of hues evokes a childlike sense of joy that sets it apart from the others. This work is dedicated to Anna's adopted son. If you look closely, you can see a mold of his small feet near the center of the ceramic. Created as her IVF journey was coming to a close and without the results she'd hoped for, this final work represents healing and finding joy in moving forward. A foster child who had no one when he was born. Anna found him after she had lost everything. In her words, he needed her. They needed each other. Her joy at being his mother is palpable when you view this work. In Due Date, Anna portrays a couple locked in an embrace, shrouded in shadow, almost to the point of being imperceptible, to indicate perhaps that they are in mourning. Anna painted Due Date after her first miscarriage. Though she might not have realized it at the time, this painting would become the first of a decade's worth of paintings expressing and working through the pain, loss, and heartbreak of going through several rounds of IVF treatments with no success. The colors here are cold, though far from drab. The dark couple is set against a vibrant light blue sky, sliced by a royal blue streak that runs horizontally across the top of the canvas, obscuring the couple's faces. A metal ring resting near their feet connects the top and bottom halves of the composition. The ring also connects, or perhaps anchors, the couple to the ground, where forget-me-not flowers grow to the right. Here, the forget-me-not flowers, first seen in the 2014 work Forget-Me-Not, become a reoccurring motif which Anna will continue to employ in later paintings to signify her lost pregnancies she does not want to forget. In this stunning work, titled 4, Anna has moved on to a more abstract and geometric style that prevails for most of the rest of the show. This asymmetrical composition features 4 embryos of differing shape and size, which refer to the 4 embryos she had implanted in Germany. Set against a striking royal blue backdrop, the image is reminiscent of embryos floating, waiting in a dark ovary. The 4 embryos appear again as rings towards the bottom right corner of the canvas. Paint drips down from each of them to the bottom of the canvas to symbolize the embryos returning to the earth. The forget-me-nots appear again, though they are fading, perhaps signifying Anna's growing exhaustion and dwindling optimism about the IVF process. Beautiful Trauma is an energetic painting with imagery that bursts at its borders. The painting contains an explosion of eggs, ovaries, and a figure with an empty face, a self-portrait of Anna herself, nearly undetectable among the crowding. At first, the bright pastel colors and geometric shapes, reminiscent of flora, may appear to lend to a cheery and uplifting tone. However, upon closer inspection, the calming colors are betrayed by imagery that begins to feel overwhelming, chaotic, and claustrophobic. This is further amplified by the context of this work, rooted in Anna's lived experience with IVF treatments and pregnancies. This painting reflects Anna's physical symptoms and sensations throughout the IVF treatments and ensuing pregnancies, which she described as very painful and making her feel very pregnant. Swollen, full of eggs, the weight of which was felt wherever she went. The band of royal blue on the left side of the composition may signify a darkness threatening to encroach, dripping onto the bright colors on the rest of the canvas, though it does not manage to. The title Beautiful Trauma reflects Anna's intentional decision to preserve elements of beauty within the painting, despite the crowded composition of eggs and ovaries, symbolizing her resilience and ability to find beauty amid pain and trauma. Painted around the midpoint of Anna's 10-year journey, the following works reflect her evolving emotions, mindset, and perspective after multiple miscarriages. They capture both her resilience and perseverance in the face of pain and disappointment, as well as her growing exhaustion and disillusionment with the IVF process. Grounded was created 5 years into Anna's IVF journey following a break. The work contains circles, dots, and eggs representative of ovaries and fertilized eggs, rendered in earthy grays, greens, blues, and browns. The organic shapes evoke rocks and rain, fossils, and mountains. According to Anna, this work represents a time when she felt grounded and ready to begin the next round of IVF, finding the strength to go on to do this one more time. Start Over is a powerful painting in which Anna explores the physical, mental, and emotional toll of her IVF experience. The deep maroons, jewel tones, browns, and blacks create a moodier, less optimistic tone compared to most other works in the exhibition. The painting captures a time when Anna was becoming disillusioned with IVF and beginning to lose hope. Here, the underlying black canvas is the most visible it is in any of her paintings in the exhibition, reflecting the darkness of this period. Once again, Anna depicts her womb, but this time it is shrouded in fog. The eggs and geometric shapes within appear like cogs in an overworked machine. Indeed, Anna admits to having felt like a birth machine, or more pointedly, a money machine. Through this work, she critiques the at times exploitative prioritization of profit over patient safety and well-being in the IVF industry. Unexpected represents perhaps the lowest emotional point of the exhibition. Anna painted this work after experiencing her 5th lost pregnancy. After taking a break to rebuild her strength and fortitude to prepare for the next IVF treatment, the sudden and early miscarriage came as a devastating shock to her and her family. The visual motif of heaviness, which has been building through the exhibition, culminates in this piece. You can feel the heaviness of the oversized, fertilized eggs, like rocks, piled up on top of one another as the ground beneath them appears to be caving in. A thin green strip runs across the surface of the sinking ground, containing dozens of tiny neon green dots. These dots symbolize the many doctors and specialists Anna consulted throughout her fertility and IVF treatments. Once the pillars of hope and expectation for her and her family, they now buckle under the weight of the fertilized eggs. This Is Us depicts 3 circles enclosed within an oval shape, resembling a womb. The circles represent Anna and her family, Anna in the center, her husband to her left, and her adopted son to her right. The painting possesses a light, airy quality, evoking a sense of weightlessness that contrasts with earlier works in the exhibition. The family appears to float, unanchored to the surface beneath them, as if their togetherness, their support of one another, keeps them afloat. The colorful orbs near the bottom of the painting appear to grow upward, their drips acting as roots from which they've sprouted. This contrasts with the drips we've seen in earlier works, which exclusively pull the forms they are tethered to back to the earth. However, for all its optimism, there are still obstacles to get through and more rounds of IVF to come. Her adopted son is swarmed by blue dots. They allude to the obstacles around fostering and adopting children in Washington state, the hoops Anna and her husband had to jump through to adopt him. Anna painted this piece during COVID lockdown. The oval that encases her family symbolizes their isolation from the outside world during this time. Still, Anna's paintings from this point on reflect her own optimism and process of healing. Things are not perfect, but they are getting better all the time. Her adopted son brings happiness and a new beginning. Let It Go No is the final piece of the exhibition, culminating 10 years of work. A self-portrait, the work depicts Anna from behind, her head turned to the right, revealing her side profile. She looms large over the composition. There is a regality to her presence that conveys a sense of dignity and resilience. She wears a magnificent gold crown and dress, both adorned with gold leaf. The gold symbolizes her strength and triumph over the trauma she has endured over the past decade. The work is layered with words and phrases that reflect the thoughts and emotions Anna has experienced regarding her 10 years of IVF treatments. The words are clouded and obstructed, making them mostly illegible to the audience. This was purposeful. These words are deeply personal, meant only for her. They illustrate how therapeutic and meaningful the act of painting and creating art is to Anna. Anna's arm extends down to the bottom of the painting, where she holds a small hand. The work is accompanied by 7 small-scale paintings of birds, each depicted in different stages of flight. When installed, strings were attached beneath the holding hands, connecting to each bird. On the opening night of the exhibition, Anna performed a piece in which she cut the strings connecting her portrait to the birds, symbolizing her letting go of her lost pregnancies and moving forward. Anna has mentioned that a deeply painful part of losing a pregnancy in the first trimester is the lack of a true goodbye. No funeral, no closure. This work is her way of saying goodbye. After 10 difficult years of trying to have a child through IVF, this painting reflects Anna's willingness to let go, but it also serves as an acknowledgement that her miscarriages, her lost children, are still a part of her, and they will always belong to her story. Despite the deep sadness that is rooted in this piece and the experiences it was inspired by, ultimately, Let It Go, No is a celebration of life and moving on, making the best of your circumstances and transforming your pain and loss into beauty and love.